this time in the afternoon. I'm on the way home. It's about to be 6, and I should totally film at night now because this lighting looks a lot better than the video you just saw. Sometimes it's really frustrating and discouraging when you know that your dream is really far away. And this is something that I've touched on a little bit, but it's something that's just really been grabbing onto my soul this past week because I had to change my deadline. I was really trying to push myself to finish draft 3 in a month instead of 2 months, and that's not really my pace. I can't really finish a draft in a month. I have to always have at least 2. And it was really hard for me to kind of come to grips with that, even though 2 months versus 1 month isn't that huge of a time shift. It's not like I'm moving from 3 months to 6 months or, 3 months to a year. But just the fact that kind of coming to the realization that I wouldn't finish draft 4 and I wouldn't start querying agents until August, it kind of really pushed on my soul a little bit, just because I visualize a lot. I visualize a lot of, the things coming up in my future, and typically it's something that motivates me. Imagining where my future could lead. I often do a lot of visualizations about me being on a book tour and kind of answering prospective book tour questions and things like that, and thinking that could be 3 years away, and not, in a year or in 16 months or in 18 months, thinking that it could be 3 years away. When I'm finishing draft 4, in August, I may not get an agent for 4 to 6 months, and then I might have another 3 to 4 months figuring out if someone will even pick up my book, and that's on the short end of the stick, and then another 2 years, just kind of adding to that timeline and feeling the weight of that timeline and being wow, okay, that's years down the road. It kind of hurt me a little bit. And one thing that I wanted to say about that is when those kind of feelings come up, you have to kind of ignore them. And I know that that's really difficult. I'm not very good at ignoring my feelings, especially because, I'm such a strategic thinker. I tend to think a lot, for future planning, rather than day by day. When I do think day by day, I'm thinking, how can this day lead to the goal for this week, that will lead to the goal for this month, that will lead to my yearly resolution? I don't think in terms of just today, and I haven't for a really long time, so that kind of bore me down. But one quote that, and I don't have the quote exactly correctly, I'll put it in the description box, that kind of relates to this, that I just wanted to kind of say out loud. I don't know, I'm kind of just talking out loud. This is just more of a informal vlog about how those feelings sometimes suck. The feeling that the quote gave me was something along this lines. So, a year, 2 years, 3 years, time is gonna pass regardless. And sometimes when I look back on my footage, I'm how often do I let go of the steering wheel? And it's when you're kind of at almost a stop, but you're just gliding. But anyway, that's a distraction. I get very distracted, and I've been having to take a lot of personality tests, and I had to take some for work, and it basically just reinforced, yes, Rebecca, you get very distracted. But what I was saying is that the time is gonna pass regardless of you. Whether you participate in your dreams or not, it doesn't matter. The time is going to pass. So you might as well use that time to help make that dream. Because day by day is all that you have. And no one's going to let me into this next lane. And I don't want to turn right now. So they need to let me in. But yeah, so those 3 years that, hopefully in 3 years, I'll have that publishing deal. It'll be close to my book coming out. And I'll be, who knows, prepping for a book tour like I've always wanted. Regardless, those 3 years are going to happen. So what I need to focus on is the everyday that comes before those 3 years. Every day can lead to my dream coming true. And even though it does feel like it's going to be in 1,000 years versus 3 years, I just need to keep trucking forward. So it's easier said than done to just ignore, oh God, it's a long time from now. But that's just the only option we have, because time will pass whether or not we want it to, and we should keep working on that outcome, even if it's hard sometimes. And this may be an unpopular opinion, but I actually really don't like editing. I don't like book editing. I don't like the revision process. It really stresses me out, and the different thinking about my book in those different ways just really gets in my head and percolates for too long. And that's, I think, why I have so much trouble with it. I feel like the drafting process, like the first 2 drafts, I love so much more, because I feel like I'm more playing in the world and having fun in my creative world and in my fantasy world. Meanwhile, revisions feel like I'm changing my world and being critical of my world, and obviously that's necessary to make the story better. And when I see the results, when I read the edited chapters, I'm like, wow, and I get that excitement again. But then when I go back to edit the next chapter, I feel that dread again. It's not my natural state. So it doesn't feel great. And it's weird to be pursuing something so wholeheartedly when currently it's not making me happy. But it's tough because I know that it's not the craft that's not making me happy. It's just this one aspect of it that in the end, I know I will barely remember. Once I get past this draft and onto other changes, when I'm drafting the sequel one day, hopefully, I'm not going to be thinking about that. I'm going to be thinking about how much fun I'm having and how much I'm enjoying it. So just wanted to also say that it's okay if there are certain parts of book writing that you don't like. But yeah, so that was a little bit of a rambly, writerly vlog, just about how I was feeling at the moment, because sometimes I just really want to talk, and everyone has different schedules than I do usually, so it's hard to just randomly talk to people that are interested in publishing as much as I am, because I research a lot. I know a lot more things than I feel like it's probably typical. I would love to be interested. I would love to learn more about publishing. But anyway, so do any of you guys relate? Are you working on a project that just feels so far in the future? Or maybe you're in college or in high school and you're imagining your graduation date, your future career, your 5-year plan, 10-year plan. How are those things making you feel? How do you cope with those tough feelings when it's a tough day? I would love to talk to you guys about that. I'll probably rant a little bit on Instagram stories too, but I need to try to get out of my head. I'm gonna go to a coffee shop hopefully later and just write in a new environment, and I think that'll help me. So I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. I just realized I didn't introduce myself at all in the intro clip. If you're new to my channel, if you just joined because of my recent collaboration with Bethany, hi, my name is Rebecca Kelsey Sampson. I'm the YA fantasy author working on Ember Dragon Daughter Draft 3, and I will link a whole bunch of things down below for you to get more info about myself and my book. If you want to keep up with daily updates, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all social media accounts, basically under the username at Rebecca K. Sampson. They will, of course, be linked in the description. So I will talk to you guys later, and shout out to Morgan for running into you at the bookstore. That was super cool. Hi, Morgan. I absolutely loved that. It was a real surprise because I don't really run into subscribers very often. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a nice day. Bye.